again, this is Jada Murphy, and today I'm going to be vlogging about my analysis of the piece Hidden Intellectualism by Robert Graff. This reading left me with a lot of thoughts initially after I finished it, and I just wanted to share some of those with you today, so here it goes. Initially, as an audience, I thought that Graff was talking to middle to upper level students. I think that this reading would be too intense for any elementary level student of any sort. And later in the piece, I almost felt that Graff was starting to talk to people that work in higher education, teachers, professors, and that sort. And I felt that he was almost calling them out and being belligerent about the way that education is set up. And that was not something that I was planning on encountering when I first started reading this piece. And the first claim that I found that Graff was pursuing was that an intellectually defined person would be more than just book smart. He's saying there is education found in other places other than just the books. And this seems to be a fairly innocent claim in the beginning, a claim that I would agree with. And as the piece went on, I felt that the tone shifted to something much more volatile than maybe he initially intended, or maybe he really does feel that way. I wholeheartedly agree that there's knowledge everywhere, and I also think that in order to be a smoothly functioning society, we need to have all of these knowledges working for us all the time. However, I think that as Graff begins to describe his awakening, or whatever you want to call it, about his hidden intellect, he actually begins to describe the education system itself and basically explaining how it did him wrong. Personally, I think that as children, we are allowed to pick what we want to read. And in upper level studies, we choose our majors, which are hopefully something that we are interested in, and that should set us up for success. So I'm a bit confused. I think that Graff lost me there a little bit. I would argue that the education system encourages us to pursue our passions, and that is what Graff is disagreeing with, essentially. So I would say that that is our biggest point of disagreement. And I also disagree with the phrase that Graff is saying he is intellectual by other means, because intellect is intellect regardless of its form, in my opinion. After I finished reading, I re-referenced the part when Graff writes about Marilyn Monroe, because I thought it was very interesting that he would include such a popular pop culture reference so quickly after he writes about his own life. However, I did, looking back, find that I could apply his initial claim in my life. Both of my parents work in education, and I also have family that works in the trades, and they did not pursue higher education. However, they are just as educated about their craft as my parents are about their own. So overall, regardless of his delivery, I do think that society needs to shift their views of what intellect truly is and what it means to be a contributing member of society.